Welcome to the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. Your adventure into the world of comic book movies starts here.
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Patrick.
Welcome back.
I know. Been a while. Been traveling.
I know. I think you had a birthday maybe between our last recording and...
Oh, son of a bitch. I'd hope you've forgotten. Yep. Turn the big 4-0.
Nice.
I'm officially old.
Yep.
Well, at least to teenagers. Yeah. I was perusing YouTube as I often do when I can't sleep.
Yeah.
And I saw this video like camping in a 40-year-old tent we found. And I was like, oh man, that had to be from like the 60s or something. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Nice.
Like my mind hasn't wrapped around
Yeah.
the past like 20 years, I think.
Well, I mean, 10 years ago was, 2000, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just weird how my mind is not catching up to the fact that 40 years ago is 1981
Yeah.
and not 1961. So, yeah, I'm waiting for Tupac to be on the oldies station any minute now.
Oh, man.
Honestly, in the 90s, I remember thinking this, that I can't wait until I'm in an old folks home and we're just busting out some Tupac and maybe some Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah. 2 Live Crew.
And our great grandkids stop by and just immediately exit as we're talking about how we like big butts.
Right. Oh, they're listening to the oldies again.
Yep. So yeah, I'm 40.
Nice.
Look out.
Hopefully it's treating you well so far.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because I know I'm 40 now, but I notice I have a lot more gray hair. So it could be like that phenomenon. Once you get a car, you start seeing your car everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going with that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, and I did hurt my ribs sneezing. So got that going for me too.
Nice. I'll have
Gotta
to
start drinking milk.
get you a walker soon.
Yep. Some Depends. The basic kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be getting a convertible or a motorcycle next. We'll see.
Right.
Sweet come over, even though I don't need one.
Yeah.
All right, so enough of my old man talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk about characters that are way older than me.
Why not? Let's start things off with number 40 from the IGN Top 100 Comic Book Heroes. At number 40. Ooh, okay. Reed Richards.
All right, did you pick 40 because of what we just talked about, or did you randomly roll that?
No, that was completely random.
Oh man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were just being funny.
No.
All right.
And
we got Reed Richards.
Reed Richards, coincidentally, the old man of the
with the graying
Fantastic
temples.
Four, the gray temples. Yeah.
Jeez, I don't believe this. You set me up.
Yeah. Known for his stretchy skin, just like I'm sure you're starting to notice, things starting to stretch. And
he's after a much younger woman, another hallmark of a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man.
I know who he is. I mean, we did see the greatest film adaptation of the Fantastic Four recently.
We did.
So,
yeah, not the best display of his powers.
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He
I didn't
looked
mind
more like
the guy
Stretch
playing.
Armstrong than
Yeah.
Reed Richards, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the 2000s Reed Richards, like the stretching effects aren't, anything to write home about. So
Yeah, I probably haven't seen it since then.
yeah, they definitely nailed it in the Incredibles.
Oh, yeah. Elastigirl.
Yeah. But yeah, Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, first appearance, Fantastic Four #1, November 1961. And, we've definitely talked a lot about the Fantastic Four in our episode we did covering that 94 unreleased movie. And then we've talked about, I think, The Thing and Human Torch on this list in recent episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of part of the reason I never liked the Fantastic Four as a kid and as a teenager. I just didn't care about the group, and it was kind of because of him. He just seemed so, he's an old man, older man. Sorry, Patrick.
Yeah, he was 40.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. God damn.
Yeah.
Didn't know this was gonna be a roast session. God lord. All right, let's
but
go
no,
on. What were we talking about? I
Oh.
forget.
Sorry, Grandpa. We were talking about Reed Richards.
Yes.
Yeah, I've come around on Reed Richards a little bit. I've been reading, like I've said before, I've been reading a lot of the older stuff, and it's funny how like they portray him as just this, very absent-minded kind of guy. Like he's always caught up in whatever he's working on. He's one of the parents of the group, of course. He's always got to keep Johnny Storm and Ben kind of from tearing each other's heads off, but he's always like, never has time for his wife. But
isn't he like one of the top minds of the
MCU?
Yeah. Or
yeah, I think there's like 6 or 7 people who are considered the top, and most of them formed up what was known as the Illuminati. So it was like him and Tony Stark and Professor X. I want to say T'Challa, Black Panther, was in there, and Namor. And then I think that's kind of rotated out a few people. Emma Frost, I think, was in that group for a little bit. But yeah, just kind of like the top minds of the Marvel universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess now that would be, assume Black Panther would be replaced with his sister in the movies.
Yeah, maybe.
She seemed like a super genius.
Yeah. I'd be interested in them doing showing some sort of Illuminati type super group. Yeah. Of course, it'd be hard to do with Tony Stark being out of the picture now, but but they're the reason that they sent Hulk out into space. Like, it was them who decided. They got together and said he's too dangerous to stay on Earth. Let's send him to a peaceful, uninhabited planet where he can just be by himself. And then that went tits up. And
that worked out in the cartoon, at least.
Yeah. But Reed Richards,
he's stretchy.
Yeah.
Is he like indestructible stretchy, or?
I think pretty much. I think he's pretty involved. I think there are limits to how much he can stretch, of course. But he can't be shot
but
with
like bullets
with a
bounce
bullet.
off
Yeah,
rockets. And maybe Hulk just imprints on him and doesn't really hurt him. I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty tough to beat. He can be knocked out. Like if he's not expecting it, I think he can still be knocked out. Punched and that sort of thing. Like, so it's not like he's always like, I think when he's concentrating of keeping a more solid shape, I think he's unless he lets if he doesn't let his guard down, he can be taken out with kind of normal means.
So he has to concentrate to stay like normal?
I think so, yeah. Otherwise he'd just be a What's that?
That made me think of what happens when he's asleep.
Yeah.
Noodle out.
Yeah. He's like Odo in Deep Space Nine. It's like, let me sleep in my bucket so I don't ooze out all over the place.
That's just what I thought when you said that. I was just like, is he just like a gelatinous pile of whatever? Okay.
There's the Ultimate Universe, the comics that Marvel like kind of rebooted the Marvel Universe in like the year 2000, and they came out with the Ultimate line of comics, and then eventually they rolled that into the mainstream Marvel Universe, and in that, like, that version of Reed was a lot darker, and when they kind of rolled him into the standard MCU, or not MCU, but Marvel Universe, he was kind of a villain.
Okay. Well, yeah, evil genius. I can see that. Cool.
Yeah, I think he's kind of Jack Kirby's. He's one of his characters that he can just be so curious about science and exploration, and like he's kind of Jack Kirby's conduit to just write crazy cosmic fantasy, sci-fi stories, and Reed's usually at the front of that, leading the group. So I think in a lot of ways, Reed Richards is the curious side and the creative side of Jack Kirby, just kind of always seeking knowledge and information and things like that. So I think that's a big part of what informed the character. And then I think the stretchiness just came almost like an afterthought. Like his real superpower is his mind.
Yeah. Because there's other stretchy guys out there.
Yeah.
Like Rubber Man or Elastic Guy. I don't know.
Yeah. Marvel doesn't have too many stretchy guys. Kamala Khan, she's like the current Ms. Marvel. She has like kind of stretchy powers. I don't know if they're to his level. I can't think of any other stretchy. There might be a Great Lakes Avengers character, and they're like the mystery men of.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's like a mystery men group, like a sub tier.
Yeah. Kind of lame. We don't always do this, but since we're probably going to get a Fantastic Four movie in the next 5 years maybe in the MCU, so I know everyone
stop delaying stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We have a chance to catch up now.
Yeah. The internet seems to only have John Krasinski as like the front runner for Reed, but I like John Krasinski, but I'm kind of over that idea.
Reed Richards.
One idea I really liked. Did you ever watch? What's the Kristen Bell? The Good Place.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that played Chidi, like her philosophy boyfriend by the end of it. I saw somewhere, I forget where now, but I saw him thrown out there as like an idea for Reed Richards, and I really like that idea.
Yeah, you have to age him Jackson, up a bit. Just throw some gray temples on him. I think that could work. Yeah.
Roy Harper Jackson, I think is his name.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if anyone comes to mind for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of who could pull off an old smart guy. Yeah, that's this totally wouldn't work, but I just thought old guy Liam Neeson.
Yeah, maybe
but
10 years ago.
He's too old.
Yeah,
yeah. How about we go? What's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Bill Nye?
Jeez.
Bill Nye's got acting experience at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, the only other smart guy is already wrapped up with Doctor Strange there.
Oh, and Benedict.
Yeah, Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I just know because of Sherlock. I was trying to think of the dude that played House, Laurie or something.
Yeah. See, I think those guys are too old. Yeah. I doubt they'll go that old with Reed in the MCU.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like people that have played like brainy characters. Yeah, at least Chidi's younger. He's probably like 30s or something.
Yeah,
I'd assume. I don't know.
Yeah,
so I think I've seen him in. So I don't know.
Yeah, same here. Anything else on Reed Richards?
Didn't dig the whole storyline we saw in that unreleased movie with the small child girl that he.
Yeah.
Had a I know she grew up a little bit, but it's still weird. But yeah, no, I got nothing else.
All right. Let's see. Let's
tick tick tick. What's the next one? Will I know it?
Let's see. The next one is 84.
Oh, good lord.
We got Ka-Zar.
Nope.
Basically,
right.
Okay. Well, he's Marvel's version of Tarzan.
Oh, okay. I was not even going to be close.
Yeah.
It sounded like a cosmic thing. Like Quasar.
Yeah. Sure.
So I was going that route. Okay.
Yeah. He's very much like Tarzan. He was left in you've probably heard of the Savage Land in Marvel. It's kind of their catch-all. Like it's a secret
Does that
place.
Hunter guy?
What's that?
Go there? Does that Savage Hunter guy? Is he associated with that? Or is that a different universe?
You're thinking of Vandal Savage?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
That's DC.
Okay, never mind then.
So the Savage Land is kind of interesting because it's in Antarctica, or this says it resides under Antarctica. So it's like a hidden
land before time.
Hidden realm, land before time. There's still dinosaurs there. There
Oh,
are,
yeah.
you know,
Fine before time then. Yeah.
It's introduced pretty early in the 60s Marvel stuff, and you know, you meet Ka-Zar, and he's like this orphan. His name is Kevin Plunder, and like it's, you know, his father was like a well-to-do, you know, British aristocrat, traveler, adventurer, and I think he goes down there with his kid, and then something happens, and the kid gets left there and orphaned, and grows up in the jungle basically and becomes Ka-Zar. So he's got a saber-toothed tiger as like his his companion, and so he is really just a Tarzan kind of character. I don't think he has any actual powers. So he
doesn't speak to animals or communicate or anything?
I don't know that he can.
Okay. He's just one with nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never liked Tarzan.
Yeah.
It was just boring to me.
Yeah.
Some dude swinging out a vine. I think it's a relic of its time, like the serial era of adventures.
And in fact, there was what I'm learning in doing my other podcast where we started in 1939, in that very first issue of Marvel Comics, there is a one story about Ka-Zar, but it's not the same Ka-Zar. They just for the one we're talking about, they basically just reuse the name and essentially the same backstory, but it's not meant to be the actual same character from that first issue. So
okay.
So they've he does kind of have his roots in that pulp era of comics. And of course, I mean, it all goes back to the, Edgar Rice Burroughs, original character of Tarzan from like the 20s maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But yeah. But this Ka-Zar, first appeared in X-Men number 10 of March of 1965. So it was something that made the X-Men have to go to the Savage Land, and they run into Ka-Zar and, have a good fight, I'm sure. And then there's some issues where Daredevil happens upon a villain called, what is it? The Plunderer, I think. And it turns out that he is the brother of Ka-Zar. And
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's on the list.
Yeah, I kind of am too, really. I mean,
and 84 even,
yeah, because I mean,
how many people have heard of this dude?
Right, he pops up now and then. He's probably had his own comic series a few times, maybe, but he's just kind of a guest star kind of character,
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. Probably keep it pretty short on Ka-Zar.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Ka-Zar. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be some kind of cosmic entity or something.
Right. Yeah. Well, how about number 54?
Okay, got hope there.
Yeah. Oh, this will be another quick one. Somebody called Elijah Snow.
Oh, good God.
I've never heard of this character. First appearance, Planetary #1, April 1999.
I can't even guess, with the name like that.
What's that?
And maybe he's got cold. I'm guessing he's got cold powers. I don't know.
Let's find out. At first glance, Elijah Snow seems similar to many Warren Ellis creations. He's sarcastic, cranky, not afraid to kick a little ass in pursuit of the truth. But what sets Snow apart is the simple joy he takes in the act of discovery. This leader of Planetary has seen the weirdest sights of the universe has to offer and still craves more. Any hero that can freeze Dracula's crotch and shatter it with a kick is deserving of our endless adoration. So I guess, maybe he does have...
he's got freezing power.
Freezing power, I guess, so...
Cold enough to freeze a vampire crotch or whatever.
So.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of looking at him. He looks super creepy. At first I thought he was a religious figure with the picture, but it's like a puzzle piece he's holding.
Okay, that's the image I have of him on IGN, so I don't...
Weird. I I don't know why, but I like Victorian era stuff, and I feel like this would be right up my alley.
Yeah.
If it's like what I'm thinking. Okay, yeah, it looks like he was born in right as the turn of the century.
Oh, okay.
January 1st, 1900 at midnight. But yeah, I just think of vampires as Victorian era or before.
Yeah.
Okay. So his abilities: controls ice, and okay, he takes all the heat from the object he desires. He can freeze it solid. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. I like ice powers. You know, that's it's a cool idea.
Well, yeah. I mean, essentially, it's taking energy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty formidable power to have.
Yeah, because I feel like Iceman's powers work by there has to be moisture in the air that he can freeze. Like I don't think.
Like Frozen.
I guess so. Yeah.
That was his thing. There was like a fire and he couldn't make ice because it was too hot.
Yeah.
But this guy seems to take the heat away to freeze something.
That's cool.
So I like that. Okay. That's a kind of a name, but
yeah.
I think Elijah just sounds religious to me. So
right.
I was thinking this was going like maybe a religious Red. I don't know. He's fighting the darkness or whatever.
I don't know if he's like a Constantine kind of
character
fighting, forces of evil. I don't know anything about Planetary. I haven't read it, so couldn't say. Yeah,
the stuff he appears in, I've never heard of.
Yeah,
like Gen 13.
Okay, I have heard of that.
Okay, he's got one appearance in that.
Okay,
but yeah, I've never heard of any of this stuff. So, but hey, I dig the power. It's pretty cool. I didn't know Dracula had so much heat in his crotch, though. Although I guess it's easier to freeze Dracula. He doesn't have too much body heat.
Yeah, you wouldn't think he has any warm blood.
Yeah, so I don't know how that works. Well, maybe his loins are just full of energy.
Yeah. Move on?
Sure.
All right. Number 77. And we got, Submariner. Namor, the Submariner.
This is where I get confused.
Okay.
Is that like associated with that manta ray guy?
No.
The Black Manta or whatever the hell it is?
That is Black Manta is Aquaman's arch enemy, I guess. And Namor is Marvel's version of Aquaman. But
So yeah, no idea who he is.
So yeah. Namor.
Man, I'm like 0 for 3 right now.
Yeah. I've certainly talked a lot about him again over on the other podcast because he's in that first issue of Marvel Comics. He's the second or third story is about Namor. And he's, the prince of this underwater kingdom that would later become Atlantis. He would later be adapted to be a mutant, so technically he's Marvel's first mutant. Although I think then that changes when they introduce Apocalypse, who's like thousands of years old. So that changes. But at one time, he's certainly the first Marvel character to be revealed as a mutant, I guess. Yeah, he's a character that I never liked. He's a very arrogant, very pompous. I think the perfect casting for Namor, it wouldn't work because he's long dead. But I think of Yul Brynner in Ten Commandments as playing Ramses II.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And just how arrogant he is, that is the perfect casting, I think, for Namor. But again, wouldn't work. But there's someone like that who can pull off just regal and just be a jerk. But I've come around quite a bit on Namor. He's a lot more interesting now that I've gone back and read his first couple appearances.
I'm trying to think of an arrogant jerk and. I went back to the dude that plays House.
A lot of people I see online will Photoshop is it Luke Evans, he's Gaston in the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Update.
The
I think I've seen a lot of Photoshops of him as
I could see
Namor. I think
he did a good job.
Yeah, I think they have cast Namor because he should be appearing in Black Panther 2.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the name, but anyways, yeah, it's weird because like in the first appearance, that first issue of Marvel Comics that talks about Namor, he's not a hero, so it was weird to read that first issue with him, and he's just not. You expect, at least I did. I expected all these original characters to just be heroes, crime fighters, that sort of thing, but he comes out the gate like killing sailors and divers who he thinks are attacking his home world of again what later becomes Atlantis. He takes his fight to the white man, or the surface dwellers, and he goes to New York and just starts killing cops, not like indiscriminately, but like if he starts causing trouble, and then the cops come after him, and somehow he ends up like killing people, and so it's just a lot of that, like the first couple issues, and then he meets up with Human Torch, who is a police officer / superhero, and he gets sent to take down Namor, and the two of them meet up and fight, and that's the very first crossover in any comic book. Like until then,
wow.
or up until then, all comic book characters kind of stayed in their own lane. Like they stayed in their own stories.
Yeah.
And so these two meeting up was what started all the. You wouldn't have a shared universe like we think of with the MCU and just the way modern comics are with, they're always, mixing up, comic book characters, and talk a lot about this, of course, in Marvel Events Timeline. And one of the things I learned there was that Superman and Batman don't meet until, I want to say it was like 1956 or 57.
Okay. Yeah,
which I mean, still, this takes place in like Namor and Torch takes place in 1939 or 19. That's when they first appear, but I think it's like 1939 or 40 when they actually meet. So it's they have 20 some years on DC as far as like their biggest characters meeting.
Yeah, it looked like the Golden Age era for him.
Yeah.
He was in the top 3 with Captain America and the Human Torch, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So he was a big deal back in the day, but yeah, I'd never heard of him.
Yeah, his popularity, I think, took a big nosedive in the 50s. I mean, I don't think he ever had a huge resurgence in popularity. I mean, well, when they introduced the Fantastic Four in 61, they brought back Namor as kind of one of their villains. Even then, he's not outright, an evil villain like a Doctor Doom, but he's a antagonist for the Fantastic Four. Like he kind of sets his sights on Sue Storm, and so a lot of his battles with the Fantastic Four basically stem from him wanting Sue Storm as his bride, that sort of thing. So it's not all out evil, but there are some issues where he decides, I'm going to take over the surface land and enslave all of humanity, and then of course the Fantastic Four have to put a stop to him. So
he seems to be a throw-in character for whatever the story needs.
A little bit, yeah.
Like he could be good, he could be bad. We just got to figure out how to use him.
He's very much an anti-hero. He is just kind of he can be used for anything. Now he's kind of running around occasionally with the X-Men because, like I said, he is a mutant. But I guess his actual real name is like Nathan Mackenzie, because his father was a sailor, like I think Canadian sailor, who, if I remember right, his mother, who was, I think, queen, of Atlantis.
It's like Aquaman.
Yeah, it pretty much is Aquaman. Like, she goes to the surface world to spy on the white man, and ends up, falling in love with Namor's father, and so they hook up, and then, however many months later, gives birth to Namor. So, very, very much the same kind of Aquaman type origin story.
I wonder, because I always thought mutants were like, two human parents had a child and they had a mutation. And this seems to be more of like a hybrid than a mutant.
Well, I think they probably explain it as if, like, he still has, maybe his father possessed the mutant gene that he passed on. His father wasn't a mutant, but he still had the gene
to even happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I always thought mutants were just human parents that had a child that had this gene or something. But
no, whatever. I mean, they can be, from one parent can be a mutant. Both parents can be mutants.
Okay.
I think we talked a little bit about.
Oh, that's right, because Cyclops is a weird family.
Yeah. Well, yeah. His brother's a mutant. His father's a mutant. Yeah.
So is Blade a mutant?
Who?
Blade?
No, Blade.
I know that's DC, but
well, no.
No, that's Marvel.
Yeah, he's Marvel. But Blade in the comics originally was just human, and then in the movie they decided to make his mother get bit by a vampire, so he got human and vampire qualities, and then they decided they liked that, so in the comics they decided to have Blade get bitten by Morbius, the living vampire, so that he would still get, the vampire powers and all that. So
crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So Submariner, he's a weird person to have on a list of heroes because of his his past. I should say his first appearance. I know I talked about it being in Marvel Comics, but his actual first appearance was called Motion Picture Funnies Weekly #1. It predates Marvel Comics by a few months. It was some kind of giveaway that they tried to do for movie theaters. Like, they'd give kids these little 8-page comics, and Namor was in one of those. And then the guy that started Timely Comics, hired this company that produced these motion picture funnies, and said, well, let's use this story that I put in this little magazine, and then they added like 4 pages to it to fill up their magazine. So you can really tell in that first issue like where that line is, because suddenly there's 4 pages that are less detailed. They're very, very tacked on. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, it says Namor is Marvel's first mutant and first major superhero. I don't agree with that. Superhero is not the right term for Namor.
He's complicated.
Yeah.
So he's like a Deadpool type.
Yeah, I think
doing
of him more
heroic
like
things, but not even, because he's just fucking people up.
Yeah.
Although he's doing it because he thinks that people are trying to get his Atlantis or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to
misguided.
Him thinking that his people are under attack or stuff like that. So, but then he doesn't he's an Atlantean, but he's also a mutant. So it's like I think struggles with where he belongs and who he's allied with or whatever. But
yeah, it's confusing because. Are the other Atlanteans mutants then?
No, I mean they're just full on Atlanteans, and most in those early comics, most of them look like catfish people. Like, they just look like fishmen with big wide mouths, and some of them are green, some of them are blue. Some of them they're humanoid, but most of them don't look like him. He's pretty much the only one that's like white skin,
So his dad got busy with a fish lady?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they explained it by, like, when she was on dry land, she looked more human. I think, like, her skin color kind of changed, I think, but...
That's the premise of the Disney movie Luca.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
like fish people underwater, but when they come to the surface and dry out, they look like humans.
Okay.
That's funny.
Huh.
They stole it from this.
Yeah. But yeah, those first couple issues where you learn about Namor and his history, there's just some wacky stuff.
Okay. Hey, I learned a lot.
Cool. It just so happened that I'm fresh on Namor knowledge just because of the research I've done for that other show.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we need to do at least one more because I'm 1 for 4.
okay.
I need to get another win here.
All right. Let's go. All right. Next one is number 35.
All right. I got this.
You're all over this one, Patrick.
Yep, I got it.
35. Oh, perfect.
Yes. Okay.
Number 35, Judge Dredd.
Hey, I know that guy.
Tell me about Judge Dredd, Patrick.
Well, he takes his helmet off all the time.
Constantly. You can't keep a helmet on that guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So I personally liked the remake where he didn't take his helmet off.
Right.
Or
what's
the
his name?
reimagination, whatever you want to call it.
Carl Urban.
Yeah, I like that version of Dredd as opposed to the Stallone version.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common.
It's popular.
Yeah,
okay.
pretty popular.
I'm not going
stance.
out on a limb. Okay.
Right. I only saw that one once, not because I didn't like it, just because I wasn't, in the bag for a Judge Dredd movie, regardless of who was under the helmet or, I saw it and I enjoyed it, but I haven't watched it since. But
yeah, I watched it a few times. I actually own it.
Okay.
I don't know. I really like that world.
Yeah.
The kind of putting the pieces back together in a militaristic kind of fashion, and kind of the dehumanization of Dredd.
Yeah.
Like he's not really normal. Like I don't know if that movie didn't touch on any kind of weird project like in the Stallone version.
I'm guessing that was mostly made up for the Stallone version. I mean, they may have touched on stuff like that. I don't know, because I know that there's still a Judge Death character that is he's kind of like a monster. He might just be like some sort of genetic mutant or something like that. But so they don't touch on anything supernatural like that, to my recollection, in the Carl Urban version.
No,
I think it's very.
I like that better.
What's that?
I like that better.
Yeah,
like,
the more.
It's just
more real world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It kind of gives me like the early Mad Max kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he was a cop.
Yeah.
And
just on the edge of the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of equate the two together.
Sure.
With Mad Max and Dredd.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He's
just got fancier guns and equipment.
Yeah,
and a sweet helmet.
It's a cool look for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just it's a weird play on like Batman's cowl.
Oh yeah,
like hiding his identity in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a different way to look at it. It's a different view of that.
Yeah. Well, I think I talked about it in our Judge Dredd episode that it kind of serves as being the executioner part of the, because he's meant to be judge, jury, and executioner, and I like the idea of keeping their identity hidden, by concealing their face.
Oh yeah, I mean you're gonna have. That's why they did it back in the day. You're gonna have enemies for killing somebody's brother or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that totally makes sense. It also gives me like Mandalorian made me think of it as well.
Oh yeah,
like the whole helmet rule
for sure. Yeah.
Even though he still owns it later, but I like that kind of code or whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting to me.
I didn't realize that it says first appearance is in 2000 AD, number 2, the comic 2000 AD.
Okay, I was
from
like,
from 1977. I didn't realize that I would have thought it was like mid to early 80s. But,
Yeah, I would have thought that
I
too.
mean, not that far off, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's old, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Trying to lump you in with me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we certainly got our fill of Judge Dredd a couple weeks ago and with the Stallone version, but yeah, and still I've never read a Judge Dredd comic, so I don't have any experience with him.
Yeah, he kind of just strikes me as like, he's the best of that law enforcement has to offer, and it's basically like a character that's just a force of nature almost.
Yeah.
And his justice or whatever.
Right.
I don't know if he goes as far as Stallone where he proclaims to be the law, but
right.
But
yeah, I wonder
along those lines.
Yeah.
I always liked the concept of that. Like I liked RoboCop. Like what's the other? And Mandalorian, like I mentioned. So
right.
I like the sticking to a code kind of guy because
Okay.
it's kind of interesting to see that tested.
Sure.
And I don't know, I find that fascinating. But just in general, for a character to be tested with what they believe.
Right. Yeah.
The core of their self-identity, I guess.
I think that's one aspect of that movie that I did like, where he was all about the law, and he thought the law was foolproof and infallible, and then until he's wrongly accused, and then he finds out like, okay, there can be, it's not a perfect system, mistakes can be made, but again, like I talked about in that episode, like by the end of the movie, though, like nothing really changes. They don't decide like, we got to overhaul this entire system because there can be flaws. It's just he goes back to work, and I don't know if it's for better or for worse.
Yeah. I learned that everyone's got a little bit of Rob Schneider in them. Enjoy that gross thought.
Yeah, that's a perfect note to go out on, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone, go out there and release your inner Rob Schneider.
There you go. Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. 2 for 5. I'll take that.
You got any recommendations?
Recommendations. God, what was it that I was just watching? It's gonna drive me nuts now.
I'll go first then and let you think about it.
I'll think.
I recently did. I started a while back on Sopranos, and then within the last, I think I watched like the first 3 seasons of it maybe, and then over the last 3 or 4 months, I decided to get back into it and finish out the show. So kind of a little bit at a time, I finished watching the show and really enjoyed it, and then I just I watched the movie that they did on HBO, the Many Saints of Newark, and thought it was pretty good. The trailer for the movie, and then like all the marketing and stuff that you'd see on Facebook and Instagram or wherever, they really like to show Michael Gandolfini, James Gandolfini's son, playing young Tony Soprano. And I think like the marketing made me think that he was going to be the main character, and he's not. Like he's in it quite a bit, but he's definitely not the main character. So I was felt a little misled, It was, but regardless, I mean, it was.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like just like the his era,
right,
of dominance, and
it's mostly about
how he learned from that generation.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. It's mostly about like his uncle and like his rival, kind of, and
because he looked young, so I thought it wouldn't be that focused on him, but more like what
I think I thought he would be the point of view character. Like he would be witness, in the scenes because he was witnessing everything and learning and coming up in that lifestyle. But it's really his uncle who is the main character, and it's more his point of view.
Oh, okay.
So,
I got you now.
Yeah, but
nice.
I mean, still good, and I thought it was a good way to wrap up watching the show, and it just kind of so happened that the movie came out right at the tail end of when I was finishing the show, so it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah,
but,
cool. All right. I did remember what I was trying to pull from my old mind.
What's that?
It's a, I guess, documentary on Prime, Prime Original, whatever. Val. It's Val Kilmer. Very cool. He took like an unbelievable amount of home video footage in his days.
Right.
Like,
The documentary,
even as a kid.
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but
it's kind of cool. His son does the narration as if he was Val Kilmer because of his voice.
Yeah.
Being gone, and he has that cadence that Val Kilmer has.
Huh.
It's kind of, at first I was like, is that young Val? Wait, what?
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, it was an interesting, like, I definitely recommend watching it.
Right on. Yeah, I need to take some time out and just watch it because, yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds interesting. It's cool that he's got all that old footage. He was just shooting his own, B-roll just for the hell of it. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's like, like not scenes, trailer, like him in a trailer at a movie.
Right.
Just, hanging out with other guys on like Top Gun or something.
Nice.
Making fun of Tom Cruise, like
awesome.
Like saying, we need less Tom Cruise in this movie.
Yeah.
And just like home video. It's almost like one of his brothers was big into like wanting to be a director. So they made like home video movies of like remaking their favorite movies, kind of like in the Goldbergs TV show. Okay. So it's got even some of that in there. Where, like they're remaking Jaws and it's called Teeth.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool.
Okay.
So yeah, recommend that one.
Right on. Yeah.
I won't get, much more into it than that, but
yeah.
If you're a fan of Val Kilmer or if you've enjoyed any of his work, it's worth a watch. And even if you haven't really seen Val Kilmer, he's an interesting character in his own right. But definitely if you've seen his films, it helps.
Yeah. Well, cool. I don't think I've got anything else, so.
All right. What's our next real movie one?
Barb Wire.
Yeah. I immediately thought of a red lifeguard bathing suit. So I was like, oh yeah.
Yep.
Pam Anderson's star-making vehicle,
That's
Barb Wire.
Yeah. It's like we gotta put this woman in a movie.
Who knew it would be a different tape that would
yeah.
be her breakthrough into mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we got Barb Wire next, and then our next 4 movies are Barb Wire, Mission Impossible, then The Phantom, and then The Crow, City of Angels. So
we've got that's gonna be an interesting road.
Quite a journey ahead of us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know I like Mission Impossible, so
yeah. I have not seen that first one in many years, so
okay,
that one will be fun to get to. Same with Phantom, it'll.
Yeah, that one's been a while for me.
Yeah. So
is that Billy Zane?
Billy Zane. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Titanic.
Yep.
He was just here in Indy. As of this recording, the Indiana Comic-Con was the previous weekend, and he was here. I saw some stuff online advertising it, promoting, come see Billy Zane from Titanic. So
from Titanic.
Yeah, I don't even think it mentioned the Phantom in the marketing for him.
I barely remember him in Titanic.
Oh, he's the bad guy.
Once. Yeah. I remember that, but thinking of Titanic, I don't go, oh yeah, the Billy Zane movie.
Oh, see, earlier when I was talking about Yul Brynner for Namor,
oh yeah,
Billy Zane would have been a perfect Namor circa 1994. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, you want to get out of here?
Yep, I think I've well past my bedtime now.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I gotta get my warm glass of milk.
Get on your house coat and your little hat
nightcap.
Nightcap, yeah.
Yep.
Send you to
put
bed.
My slippers on and take my electrical chairlift up the stairs, a la Gremlins, and fly out the roof.
Yeah. Let's get you into bed.
All right.
All right. Until next time, stay safe out there, citizens.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Find the show on Facebook and Twitter at Real Comic Heroes. All music and audio are the property of their respective creators.